your honor and pleasure to have been invited to chair this occasion, this lecture. Try not to say anything on the economy because Alex is going to give a lecture on the economy, and also because from experience, uh, anything controversial said here will by default be attributed to me. Whether or not I was the one who said it. So let it be on record that I have made no comment on the economy. You know, I've known Alex for many years, and don't see many people who are as competent to speak on the economy. Going back to his record as a student, for those of you in the University of Lagos, Alex graduated with a first-class degree in economics. And he was the best graduating student in his year at the University of Port Harcourt. I worked with him in UBA, I worked with him in First Bank. And for those of you who are bankers, you can understand the tension and fights between risk management and marketing. So I spent my life in banking in risk management, and Alex was in corporate banking. So we literally fought 3 days a week over his credits, over his files, over his customers. He constantly accused me of trying to kill business, while I constantly accused them of trying to destroy the bank. But that was the kind of a productive tension that leads to, at the end of the day, a product that looks at both sides of the coin, the business and the institution itself. If anyone ever had doubts about the qualities of Alex, all you have to do is look at Abia in the last 3 years. And for all of us who have had the opportunity to serve in public service, I had the opportunity in Central Bank, he's had the opportunity in Abia. We must remember that public service is an honor. And I've said this over and over again. If you want to make money, go into business. Aliko Dangote is the richest African. Nobody complains. He's a businessman. You don't go to be a governor or a minister or a president to make money. That is not where you go to make money. And we have turned politics into a business. God gives you an opportunity, chooses you among millions, and gives you an office for 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, a chance to write your name in gold, a chance to impact people's lives, a chance to leave a legacy. You go to Abia today, you see the roads, you see the bridges, see the electricity, see the industries. You know, at the end of the day, that is what people will remember. He has money. Nobody remembers that he has money. This Alex that you see, you know, God does not deprive you of everything. What he did not give him in height, he gave him he gave him in intellect and money. And strong will and determination. He's one of the, I'm proud to call him my friend. And at the end of the day, for all of us, when you have served, You should be able to look back at yours. I keep telling people when I criticize politicians, I was governor of Central Bank. Look at my record. Talk about can talk about inflation or exchange rate or payment system, this money that you transfer on your phone, and that is all that I remember. And I'm happy to see every day I go to Abia that Alex is leaving behind a legacy. It does not matter how long he lasts. And I mean, the only thing I hope is that all of us, or all of those who have this opportunity to serve, would remember that is the most important thing. To the Eze, who's our host, just a little recommend. You know, when I started university, I wanted to be a lawyer. Again, I did not make it. I studied economics, did my PhD in Islamic law. But today I'm an undergraduate law student. I go to class, I'm a 200 level student. I'm a student in the morning and MA in the afternoon. So if you still have your interest in being a gynecologist, it is not too late. And it's funny how lives have parallels. I also started at the age of 8. I was taken to a Catholic school in Kaduna. Pity they saw me, they weren't able to convert me. And the Catholic Church remains part of the institutions that made me what I am. I always say that. In fact, the OLA sisters who set up St. Anne's are celebrating 150 years in Africa on the 1st of May. And I continue to with the sisters there. The only reason I'm not a pastor is I would have preferred to be trained in a convent. And when I suggested that, they thought I was not serious. But I'd like to, on that note, I do not want to be a comedian. I would like to welcome all of you to this event. As you can see, I have very carefully steered away from economics, steered away from anything controversial. I hope the journalists have noted that. And I would like us to sit down and listen to what promises to be a very brilliant, very enlightening lecture. And I'm happy to see Ano and Jimoke and the President. I'm sure that the discussions will also be very enriching and enlightening. And we do need this discussion. Nigerians need to understand the economy. I think many people don't. People don't know what the central bank is supposed to do. They don't know what finance is supposed to do. They don't know what structural reforms are supposed to be. If you have a problem, it's central bank. And I think people need to understand the economy and how it works and what it needs in order to grow, and how we can have a trickle-down effect of growth to the bottom of the pyramid. So thank you very much, and have a good day.
Royal Highness, I don't know if you get told this often, but as